When one door closes, another one really does open, even in the spirit world. We often think our channel's too weak, when the truth is we're already carrying a better connection in our pocket. All it takes is a little nudge from the spirit world to make us look for it. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody. I am so excited that you're here for another adventure into the land of dreams.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and you on your journey. Now, you may have noticed more that this connection actually exists and is talking to you and making sense because there has been a change. In June this year, while on vacation in Ireland, I got a download of new ways to slice and dice dreams. It was super exciting, so exciting in fact, that I immediately shared some of what I got with others. But then my angel team told me that major changes were coming to the dream language and the new information was applicable only to that change. Drat, I'd have to wait. But what a thing to be here when dreams get a major boost. We announced the coming change in August on our show. My angel team said it would be mostly rolled out by the end of September. So I waited and waited and waited. It felt like forever, but I am now teaching a class on the new dream format. The participants are experts we have trained who've been working in the field of dream interpretation for some time. What does the change mean to you? Well, a lot really. But let's start with this question. Do you have to throw out all the information you've gathered about dream interpretation? Well, that depends on where you got it. There is so much trash out there. It seems like there are an infinite number of really stupid books written about this subject. On this show, we set the record straight. We help you sift through the garbage. Lots of garbage. People tell me all the time that they threw out all their other books about dreams when they found mine. Hey, did you know that I've written the world's most accurate book about dream interpretation? We never mention my book on the show, Sandy, but it is available on Amazon. Maybe we'll put the link under this show today. It's called How to Interpret Your Dreams. That's an easy title. Anyway, how do I know my book and method are so accurate? Surely anyone can say that about their own crazy, stupid method. Well, they can. But I have testimonials from person after person after person saying that my method saved their life. Many are from people who were so lost in life that they were suicidal. My dream work found them and brought them back. They now love life. Hey, does that sound like a cult? Yeah, we don't do that. You pay for our courses, you do our courses, and then off you go and live your life. We're not meant to be chained to therapy. We are all fully capable of living a full life filled with joy. A good therapist, especially one using my methods, will get you to the point where you no longer need them. Michael, I feel so good. I no longer need you. You are fired. Excellent. My work is done. Others say my interpretation saved their life because it helped them discover major medical issues, which they then got medical treatment for. I'm not one of these new age people who say try alternative methods over medical. I say definitely do the medical. Keep your regular checkups. But sometimes your dreams will ask you to get a checkup sooner. My clients have gone to their doctors armed with knowledge from their dreams and said, please check if I have pre-cancer cells here. And they did. And they got treatment. And they are still alive today because their doctor found it before they had any physical symptoms. It had not progressed far enough to be untreatable. The Ashling dream interpretation method proves itself over and over. It even proves itself within the one dream. If you look up my dictionary, available for free, by the way, on our website and for free in our new iPhone and Android app, go to our website to download either the dictionary or to get a link to the App Store to download our app. We would love you to do it. When you record your dream in the app, by the way, it looks up the dictionary for you, and you'll typically find several symbols within the one dream that mean the same thing. Holy cow, how cool is that? You can't argue with that. So back to the new dream format. Does it change the interpretation methods we explain on this show or in my book? No. And thank God for that. That would have been terrible. All those methods remain true. And what's more, the new dream format makes it even easier for you, the listener, to understand the first layer of your dreams. So now that the new dream format is here, let me know in the comments if you have noticed the change and what you notice most.
Wow, Michael, I really love the amount of research you put into the new dream format and how you're already adding new lessons to our courses to cover it. I have to say something Michael did not share. His angel team switched his dreams to this new format back in June so he could experience it himself and then ask his team about the differences he saw. So, Michael, what would you say were the biggest differences that you noticed?
Well, I've said this one before. The dreamer is more in control in the new format. And I think this is very exciting and will get more people interested in their dreams because it will be easier to see the correlation between a dream you just had and what's going on in waking life. I think more people will look at their dreams, and because they already know roughly what the dream is about, smart people look for experts who can help them understand the deeper layers of the same dreams. Yeah, I said smart people on purpose. Our listeners obviously already have an interest, but a lot of previously unconvinced people will wake up to the power of their dreams. And it's not just their power, it also leads to the question of why are my dreams so accurate? Who is behind them? And for many, that leads to a paradigm shift because it points to a personal connection with God.
Wow, I really, really love that. So, Michael, we have something exciting coming up this coming weekend. You want to talk about it?
That's true. Of course, we do. We are always trying to get you interested in dreams. And the biggest event that we run is our October Dream Interpretation Summit. It's a 3-day event from October 10th until the 12th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's totally free. We do ask for a refundable deposit. It's not big. We start off like so easy, saying, here's the basic way to look at a dream. Here's how to find symbols. These are the important symbols. These are the symbols to ignore, and so on and so on. And then we take dreams and we show you how to break them apart and then how to put them back together with full meaning over the course of the weekend. We have some games involved in the whole weekend too. We have many, many different topics. We don't just go slog from start to finish like you're in school. We cover the really most important and interesting topics, and we cover them from an angle that most people will have not have heard of before. For instance, did you know that the number one thing that is discussed in every single dream by everybody is their balance of masculine and feminine energy? You don't find that anywhere. Now, if you do, you found it on our website. But it is so crucial, it is so important because that imbalance is why you're here, to fix whatever that is. And that's linked to every obstacle in your life, no matter what it is, whether it's health, whether it's career, whether it's relationships. They all show up as an energy imbalance in your dreams. And life gives us kind of a practical, non-abstract way of looking at something that to us is often abstract. But anyway, we talk about this in a very concrete way. We say, okay, here's how this shows up in your dream. This is like the oxygen in a room. We point out the oxygen in your dreams. And then we show you how that relates to relationships, how it relates to birth, how it relates to many, many other things, especially gifts. By the end of the weekend, you're going to be a dream interpretation expert. It's that intensive of a weekend, but it's done in a fun way. And then it's recorded and you get the recordings for free. So if you register and you can't make it, or you can only make it to a bit of it, you can then watch the piece you missed. You have absolutely no reason to not attend. dream-analysis.com/free summit. That's how do you get to it. dream-analysis.com/free summit. And it's interactive. Sandy is the host. She'll keep you sharp and on your toes. Or is it me? I think maybe it's me. She does that too. But it's a great weekend. We really, really love it. And we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, so come join us. Really looking forward to that weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, Michael, let's dive into some dreams. I'm all excited. These look like some fun dreams to talk about. All right, the first one is from Claire, and it's called Seeing Spirits. I'm walking outside, and I feel someone is walking with me. It's dark out, and I'm using a flashlight. The flashlight catches something that flickers a bright neon color, but then the flashlight goes out. I'm hitting it to try to get it to come back on, but it's not. I think we've all been there with flashlights before. Just my side comment there. That made me laugh. So I get out my cell phone and turn on the flashlight. The beam of the cell phone light isn't as bright as the flashlight, but it goes out a lot further and is way more expensive, so I can see everything in front of me in the distance. It's all softly lit up. All right, Michael, this is a good start. I love it.
All right. So the flashlight represents Claire's old way of perceiving a narrow beam. So her perception is increasing, and it's increasing because of the gifts that she's discovered she has that she is now using. Anyway, when the flashlight fails, the phone flashlight comes into play. And so it's a switch into a more connected state because phones are all about connection, a heart centered channel that's softer but more expansive. It reaches further spiritually. And this is the point I want to make. We often complain that our connection is too subtle or insufficient in some way, and we can get frustrated with it when it lets us down. Sometimes this needs to happen for us to find another method, one that works better, but one that we had all along, but we just didn't know because we're still trying to bash the batteries in the old flashlight.
I love it. All right, I'm in the forest type place. I look down and see another flicker of color a few feet in front of me. Then a flash of neon purple that streaks forward and is moving like an ocean wave. I start following it and look up and see a glowing neon purple circle with little legs, and it's running around and moving. It's clearly sentient, and there's others like it. Cool, Michael. Sounds fun.
The neon purple beings are her ability to see energy in the spirit world, or just let's just say see energy, which is a huge part of everything. And she says it's moving like an ocean wave, but energy comes in waves, and that's what it is. And the ocean connects it to the spirit world. But it'll make more sense when we look at the next little bit of the dream.
All righty. But then I see spirits, humans, but in spirit form. They are socializing and playing together. I am so overwhelmed with a feeling of awe that I start crying and keep saying out loud, "Oh my goodness, I see them. I can see them." Then I'm looking at a map and say, "I want to know why this location on the map has spirits there, but not in the other location. Both locations are along the coast." Then I'm in a moving train standing in a freight container that has the side door open. I see the beach with the spirits and jump out of the train onto the sand. I'm looking around and seeing human spirits playing football, talking, dancing. There's a lot of spirits here.
All right. So her emotional reaction of "I can see them" marks the initiation moment. This is what's coming for her. Her sight is awakening to broader layers of reality. The map and the train scene show that she's being guided to understand spiritual geography in a way. It's not the same as our geography, but like she's on the train going on a particular journey, and then she sees this other thing. Now she notices that she can see these other things, so she's looking out for them. And that's really what they wanted her to do. And she's also aware that these habitats, these places for spirits, don't exist everywhere. Like you would think, oh, there would be one here and there's one here, but no, they're only in particular places. So what else have we got? Her role, this is her new role, is to locate these pocket worlds or energy habitats. They're self-contained groups of happy but isolated souls, and she's to report them to higher specialists. Right, Sandy, I am sure that you've got questions on this. Like, what does any of that mean?
I know exactly. So this sounds like a really strange gift and definitely very interesting. So how is this practical for her? And wouldn't it be better to be done by spirits in the spirit world? Why is she getting this gift now?
You would think so, but she's got this special gift that allows her to find them. She's been asked to do it, clearly. The dream is showing her. But it's coming about because of how her gifts work. She goes into what she calls a quantum realm. And within that realm, she can see energy pathways that feed these isolated communities. She's already in the space to find it. And these groups are happy where they are. Now, she's not looking for them. She's doing other things in that realm. She's working with people's gifts and fixing them and looking at how they use. But because she's in there and has this special ability, she can see the energy that feeds these groups. And like I said, they're happy where they are. They're not going to raise their hand and say, "We need help over here." But they do need help. They are lost. They've just forgotten that they are lost. So the dream told her how she finds them. And I then channeled on what she's to do when she finds a group. And we're all on the same team. And there are spirits who specialize in helping this type of lost group. And she has an ability to communicate with the spirits who specialize in this. And so now she knows how to spot them and who she's to talk to. She knows the authorities that she needs to identify. But I included this dream for a few reasons. One, it's a cool dream. But also notice that when her first light failed, she already had another light in her pocket. And then when she turned it on, she was like, it's not as bright. But then she started noticing the other things that it stretched further, could let her see more. Fantastic. So it was already there and shines further, already there in her pocket. And this is true for all of us. We're not left in the dark. We already have what we need before we need it.
Wow, so it's very interesting. So does this go back to where you could say that there won't be any souls left behind?
Oh, yeah. We can say that the system's put in place to make sure nobody or not even a fragment of anybody is left behind. And they're very happy that it's very true to that design, that nothing and nobody can be lost within the system. In her case, it's humans who have died, but they haven't gone back into the light. They've stayed lost, and then they've kind of formed a community of their own that over time they're happy with. And that's not always the case. I know people who specialize in psychopomp, it's called here in America, but finding lost souls on the astral plane. But here, she's able to find these ones that have disconnected themselves from everybody else. They've kind of created a bubble around themselves so that they're not found. And so how do you find somebody who doesn't want to be found, who doesn't even know that they need any help? And this is just another way that it's done. So if somebody has a special ability to look at the energy that feeds systems, and they can then use that person to say, hey, while you're here, you are going to notice these habitats from time to time. Tell us about them when you find them.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Love it. What an amazing gift. All righty, Michael, let's move on to the next dream. The next dream is called Three Things, and it's from Kate. Two separate dreams of building something by gathering three things. One seems to be a musical chord. The other maybe was three experiences. And this one, I had taken photos of a scene for my team. But I found if I held the shutter down about halfway down, you could see the image change over time. For example, a tree going through all the seasons multiple times and aging, or an image of this group of stuffed animals that did not move. A picture of an otter in the river showing them moving from the still photo to moving down the river and changing over time. That's an interesting dream, Michael.
Yeah, it is. It seems strange, doesn't it? Holding the shutter halfway down represents staying in a receptive state, neither forcing clarity nor freezing time. And I like how she says in the dream, if she points it at things that are animated, that are alive, she can see seasons changing or things changing. But if she looked at the stuffed animals, nothing moved, right? So she has this special ability to perceive temporal layers and the life force within things. This is something she just has. And the three things is really, really beautiful. When I channeled on this, I was so happy with what they said. It corresponds to her intuitive triangulation system. If she knows three core facts about a person, this activates a higher internal map that she has that is very unique to her. It's not an intrusion into the person's field, but rather it's a pattern recognition through a special spiritual template that she has. And when I asked about it, like, how will she know? They said that when she sees the pattern, she will get a sense of, oh, I like this about Sandy, or it'll be that way. So when she hits that point, she has enough that she can then use her reference map. And then she automatically applies knowledge that she has or mission relevant information to that person because she gets it from that layer. The way they described it is if there's a ceiling above her that has like a topographical map, and she gets 3 points, then these go straight up from her and they shine off different points on this map. And she's able to then triangulate and say, okay, based on the fact that these 3 points are illuminated for this person, I now know what their mission is, what they're trying to do, what their difficulty is, what they have to overcome. Lots and lots of information just from getting that. But that's the way life is. Like we come into this life It's the reverse. We know what the issues are, and then we live a life that's going to help us solve the issues. She's able to reverse triangulate that and get that information, which is quite amazing. And she doesn't intrude into the person's field at all. So she's not like looking into them, into their field, into their space, into their mind, or anything like that. So quite a remarkable gift. And in waking life, she often doubts this natural knowing, and she lets people talk her out of her truth. And she goes, yes, I do. I know it's true. And she also knows she has this gift because it just clicks, but she's a very quiet person. She wouldn't share with you, hey, this is what's going on for me. And really the point of the dream for her is trust your immediate knowing. You can see beyond familiar reality. It is there. This beyond reality is there. And your gift works on an inner algorithm that when you have these three things that you know, you get the full download about that person. It's quite remarkable. I love the look beyond reality part of this dream.
That is an absolutely amazing dream. Can I ask a couple more questions about the dream?
You can.
So she's got a musical chord. What do you think that is in reference to?
The musical chord's connected to channeling. And she's a really good channel. So if she finds that she knows three things, say about Michael, I know that he's able to do this and he can do this other thing, and this other thing happened to him in his life, was like snap. Something now tells her or connects with her internally, and she can download lots of information about me because she has these three truths. Like this is true, and this is true. And she also has a good radar for the truth as well. And so when she has those, it's like now my channeling can fill in a lot of information that I haven't got from any other sources, but it's just natural to me.
I really like that, Michael, and her dream is really amazing. And it works just automatically for her. And I love that the dream is pointing out that you need to trust your immediate knowing and know that it's correct because you're getting this based on your gift. That's really cool. All righty. So the next one is titled Made Out of Thin Air, and it's from Claire. I'm in a classroom. Feels like I'm at a university. I see a person sitting at a desk and they start moving their hands like they're shaping something in the air. Then I see a flicker or an object appearing, and the flicker gets stronger and stronger until what looks like a Wi-Fi device fully materializes on the desk. Everyone is watching. Another student points and exclaims, "They just made that out of thin air." Oh, that's pretty cool there, Michael.
All right. Yeah, it is. I like this one too. This person runs cohorts with students and brings them from having an interest in their gifts to a full understanding. That's one of the things she does. When I channeled on this, they said that she's going to come across somebody in one of her classes who has the ability to show her how to do this. So this is really interesting. And what is this? The Wi-Fi device appearing from thin air is a literal metaphor for a new spiritual access point, because that's what a Wi-Fi device is, or a router is. It's an access point, but this is a spirit one. It means channeling. So she's going to meet somebody anyway who can create a connection node between planes as a kind of workaround. So that's interesting too. Why would you have this workaround? Really, the spirit world is showing her how to create a workaround in case of a future communication blackout between the planes. But here's the thing. Don't focus on the blackout. Focus on how the spirit world is going to give her something to avoid it. And this is true for all of us. We're never left in the dark. Also, the communication access point she creates can be used by others. So she is here to help a great many others in the time of a blackout, should one happen.
Wow, that's very, very interesting. I like the fact that it was at a university and they were showing how to do this. That is so cool.
Yeah, that makes it spiritual, a place of higher learning. Higher learning is always about your spiritual side. But that's the field she already works in. And it's always interesting who you meet. You never know who you're going to meet. The spirit world does, but you never know who you're going to meet.
Wow, Michael, what an incredible dream. I've really enjoyed this. Is there anything else you would like to comment on?
Yeah, it's important that we know certain people are put in our path because they're important in our lives. And we won't necessarily know that, but our dreams and the spirit world know it. I remember when I met George Radigan, he's my mentor, amazing man. His ability with dreams is just second to none. And I am delighted to be able to say that the work I've done based on his work that I can put beside his, I am just so happy to be able to do that. But when he met me, he knew in advance he was going to meet me. I didn't know him. But I talked to him one time and I said, do you want to form a partnership, a business partnership? And before I could even finish my sentence to say what I wanted to do, he said, absolutely. And I was like, why would you say that? I don't understand why you would say that. And I was thinking that for ages. And eventually when we did form a partnership, we went to lawyers and did everything the right way, legal way. And he showed me that he had got a reading sometime in the 60s, 1967, I think. And in the reading, he was told that a young man would come along and offer to put his work on an electronic device. And that was me, because that's what I offered to do. I offered to put his work on a computer. Now, computers didn't exist in 1967, so the reading had said an electronic device. And I met him, I don't know, in
91.
Yeah, 90 or 91. And he hit this reading from 67, and he's like, yeah, you're the guy. And we worked together for years. Absolutely wonderful. And this dream is saying something similar to Claire, that she's going to meet somebody who's important in her life, is going to be super important in her life. And it's because of the gifts that he has. But she specializes in helping people developing and use their gifts. So she's going to be perfectly placed. And so this poor guy is going to come along to her class at some point because he's having trouble with this gift. And here she is ready to help him fix it, etc., etc., etc. You know, the thing that trips us up puts us in the path of the person that we need to meet.
I find that incredible. I love how I see that happening over and over and over again. So this is so amazing. And I love the fact that the dreams give you that clue so you can look out for it and know what's coming. Anyways, Michael, I think that's all for today. I hope everybody will join us at the summit this upcoming weekend. And once again, Michael, you want to share how you get to the summit?
Absolutely. dream-analysis.com/free summit. And we would absolutely love to see you there. Take care.